Dave here. How are you? Today is the 2nd of August 2020. Cold morning for us down south in Australia. Colder in Canberra. Up at Lura, I saw a photo this morning of a hose or a tap that had been dripping overnight and it had formed an icicle up from the ground. It was that cold. So there you go. I guess everyone in the Northern Hemisphere sweating like crazy. Well, we feel sorry for you, but our turn will come. Not too far away for spring for us. All right, so today on the show, I'm going to do something which is probably going to be seen as being crazy in everyone's eyes. The lathe cart that I built, I'm going to mount the Sorby PROEDGE on the end of it. This was always the plan. That's why I had the overhang hanging out the end. So I could cut a hole in the top for a collection bucket underneath. So the filings as they're coming off, because it's not a wet grinder, it's a linisher, so it's taking steel off things. It was going to be dropping into a container, but I thought rather than do that, I might be a little bit tricky and I might trip myself up big time doing this. But my plan is to use a mag switch and also a card scraper. Turn the mag switch on and it locks onto it. Now in that particular area there, that's going to collect a lot of filings. Now this might all be just rubbish, and if it is rubbish, what I'll end up doing is I'll cut the hole out anyway and put a collection thing in. But I thought this might just catch the stray filings like a good dust collector. You know, anything that's a little bit fine starts floating around, caught on here. Then the whole idea is I undo the mag switch, all the filings are there, tip them out. What do you think? You know, I'm up for it, why not? I'm going to do a quick read, put the old specs on, see what's happening. Sound and video is good. Thank you very much for that, Wayne. Reading down through, evening from New Jersey. Morning, Dave. Need a leave past wife's birthday today, so we'll leave early. She can join in, Mike. She can come here. This can be her birthday present. How do you think she'd handle that? Probably not well. 35 degrees Celsius, rain off and on here. Harry, hello Dave. Everyone from North Bergen, New Jersey. Morning from Scotland, 2 in the morning. Jim, you're bloody keen, aren't you? The Sorby unit is a messy son of a gun. It is, so I thought, you know, why not do this? Morning, Michael and Russell. Go for it, Dave. Okay, should work, Derek. I love all your guys' confidence in what these stupid ideas I come up with. All right, so I'm going to have a quick read here. Mount the PROEDGE, viewers, dust arm. Oh, someone sent me a picture of their dust control arm. It's a big, massive thing. It's basically industrial for a spray shop, but it's a big, massive arm. It carries the compressor hose, the suction hose and everything. And I haven't got the picture in the program at the moment, so we'll just leave that. I might throw it up next week. But, you know, I was complaining last week about dust collection ports all around. And then if I get the PROEDGE mounted properly, what we might do is sharpen a gouge for the lathe, and that'd be interesting. All right, here we go. I'm going to use, basically I'm going to drill a hole down through the top, a 5mm hole in the position I want to do it. Then I'm going to create 3 holes for that pattern on the back, on the underside, because I've got the thickness of the PROEDGE's base, I've got the thickness of this, and I need this metal plate to be sitting proud of the base, the PROEDGE's base, by about 1 millimetre or so. I think that'll work okay. Now, mag switch supply, when you buy a mag switch, they supply all the details, you know, as the layout and everything. And I've had a massive tidy up in the workshop during the week, and I found it, but do you think for the life of me I can find it again? No, I can't. So I had to measure it with the calipers. So hopefully it's going to work well. I'll switch the camera down to the other area there. And I'm going to do a quick read first. You'd like to stay married? Well, there you go. 55 watching and 15 thumbs up. Okay, well, it may be not a very interesting subject today, but let's see how we go. So I've got the PROEDGE down there. You can see I've got it right up at the edge here. there's a pigtail here for the mop to go onto, so I can do all my buffing and everything down the edge here. That was the design. There's the hole for the dust to go down into. There's a little guard here that shoots it down. I've got the side held on with rare earth magnets anyway, and you can see they love holding on to the dust. And as I say, this little thing Derek made for me, slide it back on. That's a whole lot quicker than going in with all this, you know, the knobs and everything. It works well. So there is the center. I'll take this off again so we can have a quick look at where we're going to be. The center of the belt is where I'm going to go, so I'm going to put a little mark there with a texter or a Sharpie or a mark or whatever you want to call it. And I think if I put it maybe back a little bit, so I'm going to drill the hole there. If all of this turns to rubbish and I get annoyed with doing woodwork and I don't want to do it anymore, I sell all the machines, I can still, doing it this way, I can still cut this edge off the top of this unit and still have 20mm overhang from the cabinet itself underneath. So I can still use this. So drilling a hole through it isn't going to be a tragedy. First thing to do, just move this guy back, is drill a hole through there. And to do that, obviously, I need a drill. You like the idea, do you? Well, we'll see how it goes. First thing I need to do is make sure that I'm not going to be going too big with holes. This is one of the holes that I'll be doing, so I'm fine from the side and from underneath. Once I've drilled this hole, I've undone this whole top from the base. I'm going to take it over the Stanton bench. We'll do it all there. So don't panic. Don't panic. Cool. Turn it to clutch off and fast speed. Whoop, I don't know why it's on hammer. There we go. Turn it off hammer. Ah, the wrong one. See, there's 3 dials here. Ordinary or hammer, speed, and sensitivity for the clutch. It's got an electronic clutch in it. This is a lovely drill. People ask me what kind of drill it is. It's a Pro Tool. It's the same as the PDC. It's the same drill as the Festool one. This was the predecessor for it, but it's exactly the same, different color on the outside. All the Centratec chucks work with it. Alrighty, and it's a really strong drill, unbelievably. All right, that's where we're going to put everything. I'll move the PROEDGE out of the way and switch the cameras back so you can see what I'm doing. And these guys out of the way. I had a massive clean-up in the workshop. I threw out a couple of big garbage bins full of stuff that were yesterday's precious items. Do you have any of those? They're things, oh, I might use that one day. I might use, and next thing you know, you can't move. I exaggerate a bit because I've got a lot of space here and I'm very fortunate. But if you're in a small workshop, it is crucial that you keep on moving things out. If it hasn't got a purpose, get rid of it. I've got a friend who used to breed Arab horses. And I said to her, what do you think of Shetland ponies? And she said, Shetland ponies have no earthly use. Well, I thought they used them in the mines, didn't they? Surely they must have had some use. All right, move all of this. And see where we're at. And the drink. Without sticking the biro in my eye. Question, Dave. I have a 50-year-old plaster wall with 30-year cracked oil-based paint. The paint without damaging the plaster wall. You could possibly try the Rotex. Depends on what kind of paint it is. If it's a lead-based paint, you'd want to use one of the dust extractors that's going to be able to be used with lead-based paint. The Rotex might do it with 24 grit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's not really my area. All of my construction days were timber frame construction, so I never really went down the path of, I'm guessing you're talking about solid plaster, like plastered on render. Don't know. Hi from the bottom of Michigan. G'day, Brendan. How are you? All right, here we go. I'm going to turn it upside down, whoop, and around. Like so. And there's the hole there. Test the paint for lead. Okay. Now I've drawn up, have a look at this. See the top drawing? That was the box I was going to build to set the whole thing up on top of. And it was going to cost a fortune. I thought it'd be, you know, let's go with this layout here that I've got for a mag switch that I drew up myself. It might work. All right. Glasses and focus. 10 past and we haven't really done much at all. So there's the hole, that's fine. And there's just a little bit of something on there. It's bugging me, I'm going to just get rid of it. I don't know what it is. But gone now. There we go. Fixed. All right, maybe citrus-based paint stripper. When my house gets dirty, you buy another one. All right. Now this has to go, the mag switch is going to get mounted here. I might go to CalCam so you can see it a little bit easier. Say that after I've lost the mouse. There it is. Got to say the TJ250C is a beast. Excellent, Matt. Excellent. Let's go to Carl so you can see what I'm doing down here. I'll come back in a little bit further. Now I want to go down into here around possibly 4 millimeters deep, very close to it. And I need to drill these two outside holes first. Let's see if you can see them. These are the circumferences for these two parts of this body. When it goes in, I want it to look nice. You know, not that anyone's going to see it from underneath, but I will know it's there. Now I need to do a little bit of measuring. It's 44 millimeters either side, so it's 22 millimeters from the center of this hole here. So I'm going to go 22 to 100, like so, and then 44 on the other side. And that should be pretty right. I'm going to put the little combination square on it. I know we set it up as a rough kind of a position, but if I do this, see, straight away. Okay, now the first holes I've got to do, as I say, I'm going to be inch diameter. This guy here, these are Forstner bits. Now, a lot of people can use these with a drill. I'm one of those people. I'll switch it around to the main image again. As I say, this is a Forstner bit. Well, actually, this is a... the Forstner bits don't have the sawtooth pattern. The sawtooth pattern is ordinarily used into end grain. The Forstner, which has just got a straight cutter, is normally for going down into it. I don't have a Forstner bit that style. I'm going to turn the speed back down. But I do have this, so I'll work with this. That should be okay. I'm going to do a little bit slow because if these things take off, you're in trouble. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. I'm going to do the other one, then I'll put the calipers on it. And if you're not aware of how to use calipers to measure the depth of a hole, keep watching. these are calipers, digital calipers. And when I close it up, it's at 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm in metric at the moment. On the end here, when I open it up, you'll see there's a little thing protrudes. See that? No picture or sound here, internet failure I think, but I'm getting the text discussion. Is anyone else having problems with the image coming through? I can't see any frames lost. If it's coming through, if the picture's coming through, okay, let me know. All good. Okay, thank you. Whoop. I nearly blew all the stuff into my tea. All right, so we just pop it in there and push down. And it's telling me 3.16 millimeters on that one, so I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that one. And this one is 3.73 millimeters. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper. And a little bit deeper in this one. I'm not as accurate as my CNC is, but, you know. What have we got there? Oh, 4.5 mil. I went too deep, but that's okay. 4.34. Beautiful. Now I'm going to drill a hole in the center. Why didn't I drill the big one first? The reason being, if I drilled the big hole first, then this one might have started catching on the side of the hole and pulled the drill away and stuff things up. What brand of Forstner bits do you use, Dave? I'm looking to pick up a better quality set than I currently have. Look, these are the cheap set. These are only carbon steel. They're not carbide or high-speed steel. These are just carbon steel. I don't do a lot of work with the Forstner bits. This is the cheap set. It's a Chinese set from Carbotech. Carbotech also carry the carbide ones from Italy. So you get the CMT, and they're in metric, so they're really nice. The Fish, FISCH sets, the Wave sets, apparently they are a dream to use. I've used them, and you know, it's probably wasted on me, but for someone who's going to use Forstner bits all the time, I think they're the ones to get. Anyway, all good and dandy-non. All right, now I've got to make sure that I get the right diameter here, or I'm going to stuff it. I've got Forstner bits all over the place, and I forget which ones. I got them all out earlier. I forget which ones are for which. Right, the easiest way to do this is to work out the width of the body here using the calipers. Then I won't get it wrong. Fingers crossed. Try Fish. That's the one. That's the ones that I said, Carl. Everyone raves about them, but as I say, I'm not really up to that standard. 44. That's the one. Here we go. Put this one in. Now I'm going to go down in the center of this one. Look, how about I bring this one over? Because you might want to see this part. Hopefully it's going to be in focus, because I set the focus up for over there. Camera 3. There we go. I'm going to drill this one. Tip it up just a touch. And they're really good. Good on you, Kiwi. No video here either. Sorry, Alan. Here we go. I've got to be very careful with this. Go very slowly to start until it starts to bite in. I've got to go down a little bit deeper. You know, this isn't going to be a lot of... Sorry, I'm focusing for the moment. Okay. I went down a little bit lower than the edges, but that doesn't matter. All right. There we go. I'll get a chisel and just clean up the edge of that, if I've got a chisel that's sharp. As I'm working from the, don't ever try and push down into the grain. It's going to meet with an accident. It's going to be terrible. All right. Now, I can flip this all over. See, unfortunately, I can't take that off, but I can look at it there and say, I think I'm pretty right. Quick coffee. How's the time going? 20 past. Oh, we're going great. All right, I'm going to flip it over. I've been working on another project at the moment as well. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope to get a video out about it. Did you see the video I did on cutting up sheets of melamine coated particle board? And I don't know if anyone else is aware that if you do your cut, let me switch the cameras again. If you do your scribing cut in reverse, the blade is cutting down into the surface, not coming up. So if you're going forwards with the saw, the blade is turning this direction. If you're going forwards, the cut is coming up and it's going to chip. Not a lot, because it's only 2 millimeters, but it is going to do. The cleaner way is if it's in reverse, the blade is still turning this way. So remember, it's going to be cutting down into the surface as it's going that direction. Stephen, thank you very much. Now, I won't be doing any more asking people for support with Mike. Happy birthday. I'll catch the replay. Okay. So, thanks, Mike. So I'm not going to say helping out supporting local businesses. Support your own businesses if you can. It's getting worse for us in Australia with this bug, and you know, there's a lot of people in Victoria who really do need the support. The greater Sydney area where I am in the Blue Mountains, not as much anymore. Down, you know, Liverpool and those areas, the areas that are made known, you know, they're the businesses, the restaurants and things that need your support. So go out and help them out. Now I need the skinnier drill, Forstner bit, for this part. And I think that's a 40. And this is a 40, I think. I don't know why I had 3 here. I got to make sure with this because I don't want it to mess up. There's the 40, and that's a 38. Well, that was lucky. Pretty sure it's this one. If it's a little bit loose, it doesn't matter because we've got plenty of cover on the flange around it. But it's always nice to get it right. Now, this is why I did all the drilling at the bottom first. I'm going to send this one right down the same hole that I created earlier. You know, I'm not too silly. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. And this is a scary one because this is the surface that's got the finish on it. Yes, Peter. Done that, Peter. Can't get service on my phone either. I don't know what the problem is. Everyone else seems to be watching, Cole. Maybe you've got problems with Telstra in the area again. Again, I say. All right, I'm going to go very slowly. I'm scared. Here we go. Beautiful. We're into it. I'll let you come in close up again. All right. Having that pilot hole helps me a lot. I possibly could have gone a little bit narrow with the pilot hole's diameter. You know what I'm going to do? No, Dave, what are you going to do? I'm going to put the handle on the drill. It just gives you that little bit more control. Pop that off, slide this on, tighten her up. A lot more control. Sounds like NBN issue. Possibly. Now the other thing is when I finish going through here, it is going to tear out a little bit on the back. That's better. What is going on there, David? Maybe I've got a battery that's a little bit light. Switch another one into it. Or, I'm dropping it back to the first speed. Because it's a lot to ask. Just checking it's the right size. Yes, it is. Love it. Whoop, there we go. Done. Let's have a look from the other side. Well, we'll leave it there, put it up from this side. I don't know if I've gone deep enough. I know it. I have. The it's just not going through in a spot there. I need to tidy it up. All right, move this out of the way. And flip her over. Get it onto the cushion strip so we don't scratch the high gloss surface. That's the thing with this, making this a video has dropped significantly, has it? Now that is very interesting. Let me have a look here. I'm going to try $426. It should be punching it out okay. I don't know what the answer is there. I really don't know what the answer is. It seems to be going fine here. Has anyone else got it? Video's fine there. Okay, thanks, Matt. See, if I start chasing around all over the place, I'm going to waste a lot of time. And, you know, if it's a local issue, well, that could be easy enough to fix. I think this is going to fit in there. Lovely. Looks fine there. Okay. Fine, Quebec. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's go to camera 3 again. Okay, so this is where it's going to go. I have a little bit of an area there on the corner where it's not going to allow me to go in properly. So we'll use the chisel again. I'll get the mallet. No, I won't because the mallet's not there. Over here. Cool. I might just take that corner off. And this one. Yeah, so by all means, I'm still going to go out and help these companies. But if you feel that the money is better spent in your area with your local businesses, do that. Do that and help them. Let's see how that's gone. Oh, that's gone in lovely. And I have enough lippage on the top. Lippage isn't really a word, is it, David? And I'm going to use, I was going to use inch correct screws, but they're going to come through. So I'm going to get some 3/4 inch, see how they go. Yeah, good on you, Wayne. I use hand tools a lot, just you guys don't see it. 3/4 inch, what have I got? I've only got 3/4 fines. Let's see how they go. These may work. They may work, they may work. That's going to make me feel a whole lot happier. Wayne, thank you very much for the $5. Thank you. Let's put it in. Pulled it down nicely. And the other side. Beautiful. All right. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. We're going to throw it onto the lathe cart. You know, only 4 weeks ago, this lathe cart, 4 weeks sounds like an eternity, but it's only 4 shows. Only 4 weeks ago, this lathe cart was just a thing in my head. And so I drew out a little box and got some dominoes and did all that kind of stuff. Joined the top because it was too narrow. Quietly trying to read. Powered by battery. Okay. Oh, this is fun. Look, I'm not going to make any money doing this. I'm playing and having fun in a shed, and you guys can watch while I do it. But I get an idea and I think I might try and see if that'll actually work. There we go. So there's the mag switch sticking through at the top. I'll pull this back a little bit. I'll have to put the screws back into the top again a little bit later on. But for the moment, that's good. And I'll lower this down. Yeah, so if I was to make one of these for someone, I'd go broke. But it's good fun, you know. It's enjoyable. We'll switch it over again. There we go. So there's the mag switch, proud in that area. Let's put the PROEDGE on top of it. That looks all right. And I'm not going to screw it down yet because I might need to move it backwards or forwards a little bit depending on where the filings land. Now, the last bit here is we're going to put one of my card scrapers on it. And then I'm going to turn the mag switch on. See, at the moment I can move that all over the place. Now I've turned that on. I can't move it. That's held down super tight. I don't know if you're aware of what mag switches do. When you turn this handle down the bottom here, the magnets are allowed to do their magneting thing. I don't know how it works, but that's, as you do, you switch it, whether it's changing the polarity, I don't know. I'll have to, one day I'm tempted to open one up and have a bit of a look. But if I was to put that there, you watch the magnet pull, the thing pull down. I'm moving the whole cart. That's how much grip it gets. All right, beautiful. I'm going to put a couple of clamps on here. As I say, further down the track when I've got the that's not going anywhere, and one at the front here. When I've got it screwed down, see that? That's pretty substantial. All right. And now we're going to try sharpening something and see if it works. And rotate it to about there. What do you reckon? The magnety thing. There is waste from the abrasives too that isn't magnetic. Ah, that's an interesting thing, Peter. Very interesting. I hadn't even considered that. I better put the cover on. Well, I'm going to change the belt first. Oh, wouldn't you know it? They're all in here. Let's use a 60 and a 120. All right, 60 first, the correct direction. Having said that, Peter, do you think it's an interesting little concept, though, doing this? I need the cable for it. Ah, David, where have you put the power cord? Ah, that's where I put it. Dear. You know what, when I did the cleanup and I realised I had a spare cord, spare cable, I think I possibly took it upstairs, or it's down here in a box, but we're not going to have any more of the show if I don't have that cord. I found one. It's this computer style cord. Plug that in. And I think I've got a power lead hanging up here with all of this stuff. Indeed I do. And a miracle, it reaches. There we go. All right, turn her on, see if it's going to track all right. Lovely. This is a great little machine. All right, and what else? Put the side on and get the gouge. Spin this around the other way, David. That's going to do us. Pop this back on. Good. And the gouge angle down the front here, it tells me it's 45 is possibly going to be the one that I need. And there's the tool there, and we'll undo this. And 45 degrees is the fourth hole down on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's pretty easy to set up, isn't it? That's the angle I've got. Where's 60? Is 60 the next one down? I'm going to have a look at that one because it was just slightly off and see if it's going to make a difference. That's too steep. Go back to 40. Back to 45. Done. All right. Mag switch is on. Let's see what happens. You can see I'm starting to get the new angle there. I try and work the wings first. These are the wings. So I try and work those first and then join it together. Move it along the belt a little. See how it's coming along now? That's okay. And see that? Even the red spark's coming off. And look at us catching it down there. This is so good. I'll give you a close-up on it soon. We'll come back in. How's that looking? All right? Don't know if you can see it okay there. Going to take a little bit more off, but it's looking pretty good. This wing I've gone a little bit far on, so I'll work the other wing first. That's looking a whole lot better. This side is perfect. I've got a nice consistent flat across the top. So if you see it from this side, and I could do just a little bit more coming around to here. That's going to do me. Turn that off. Okay. I'm going to hang it off the edge there a little bit like that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm going to undo. There's hardly anything down here. I'm going to undo the magnet. And I'm going to take this off. Look at that. Now the advantage of having the mag switch, and see there's nothing down here, this is super clean, a little bit of rubbish down the edge, but just about everything is there. And then I can take this over to the bin and it hasn't stuck. See, if I had magnets like these guys here, see how it's all fluffy around these ones? That's beautiful. And then pop it back on, turn the switch back on, and there you go. Look, let's throw them back in. See that? Held it perfectly. I'm happy with that. Really, really happy. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a read. Let me have a look. I'm going to switch the cameras back here. Get my coffee. Oh, it's actually green tea. Red hot steel is non-magnetic. It caught it. Russell, the angles on a gouge should be determined by the user's way of working. Timber worked book numbers are only a starting point. Thank you, thank you. I'm not a wood turner. I dabble. Just think this sort of setup would be like around a metal lathe. Pretty effective. I thought it's fantastic. I wonder if a little tin tray would hold a bit of water and would stop deflection. It possibly would. But the thing is, you're going to start inviting rust and things. That's the only problem, Warren. I hadn't even considered that, but it worked. You know, isn't it a buzz? Do any of you get an idea and think, you know what? Let's give it a try. You know, or are you too scared to have a bit of a try? And you know, I don't mind if something doesn't work, if it ends up a failure. Bad luck, bad luck. But it's fun trying, and that's one of the things I love about it. Raid a small baking tin from the kitchen when the boss isn't watching. Is that right, Wade? All right, I'm going to put the other belt on and take it down to 120. See how we go. So there you go, Peter. You can set up at your at your sharpening station at the fairs and markets, and have a mag switch underneath, and see if it does anything. Let me just check for tracking. That's not bad. And I need the cover back on. Wally, I could try a plastic container instead of this, I guess. But, you know, as I say, I love doing the experimental things. You have a go with a plastic container. See how it goes, Wally. Let us know next week. How good is this thing? Derek's a whiz. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. 120. We're on the right camera. So that was 60 grit that we used. Now we're going to go 120. What I'll do, turn the switch on. Oh, it is turned on. I'm an idiot. You can see it's a slightly finer result that we're getting at the moment with the 120 belt. Peter, do you do the wings first, or anyone who is a wood turner? Do you do the wings first and then join it together on the gouge? Look at that. Shall we go to another belt? Why not? Let's go to a 240. Get the next belt out. This cabinet is so good. It just makes everything easy. I spend ages wandering around the workshop looking for things, as you guys can attest to. You've seen me do it. If it's all here, everything's got a place, and it's in its place, it saves me ages. Let's check for tracking. Not bad. This is a 240 belt. Now I've got to be careful I don't dawdle too much. With the 240 we can get into a situation where it might start to burn. Move it across a little. So I'm keeping it moving. Look at that. That is so good. Now, one of the things also, I'm going to come over to the main camera now. Where are we? One of the things also is, have a look at that. Get the glint on it so you can see it. Chris Pouncey. I don't know if any of you guys know Chris. He used to travel the world and do Sorby demonstrations of wood turning and show people how to use this thing. And I used to hang out with Chris a bit when he did the shows in Sydney. And once I had the pleasure of doing a tour up the coast with him, I was basically the guy that had all the chisels out on the bench, and you know, people bought them from Carbotech through me. I was the retail guy. Anyway, one of the great things about doing these tours is you could ask Chris all sorts of things, and I'd watch every show he did. So, you know, he might do 5 different wood turning clubs in the time that he did the tour in my territory, and then he'd be off. And it's reinforcing all the information. And wings first, then the nose. That's right. I don't do on those gouges, fingernail gouges I do. Okay. So I said to him, what about the inside? How do you sharpen the inside? Like with an ordinary chisel, I know I can flatten it off and then work on the bevel and then come back and just clean off this. And he said, as soon as this meets the timber on the lathe, all that bird disappears. It sorts itself out straight away. Oh, that's nice. very, very, it is so nice. I'm chuffed, if you can't tell. I'm going to do a quick read. If you darken the edge with a sharp, you can easily see where the grind pattern. Excellent. I'd stick with the magnet. A container is no fun. Magnet is good to catch stray metal particles. You notice I wasn't wearing a dust mask. Now, ordinarily, I would have smelt all those filings. I left the mask off on purpose just to give it a bit of a test, see how it go. I smell nothing. Maybe my nose is stuffed. But at the moment, I smell no metal filings. I couldn't see any around the edge. There's nothing on the floor. You know, who's going to do it? Who's tempted to jump in and do what I just did? Might be a bit of fun. Okay, you finish your grinds with a 3000 belt and the angle for each gouge is stamped in the ferrule. Okay, now when I was talking to Chris also, he said he doesn't take his gouges past 120. I don't know. I take my chisels, my ordinary woodworking chisels, my bench chisels, I take those up to 3000. And also knives, I take those up. Of course, this thing does a great job on knives as well. But I don't know, see, it's great to hear what other people do, and then you can muck around yourself and work out whether you're going to take one person's advice or another person's, or mix it all up and come up with your own special formula. But that's beautiful. Love it. There we go. Another quick read. The real key is to be able to address the inside concave of the tool. Okay, so that's an area there that I was just saying that Chris said just leave that alone. That burr will come off as soon as you present the gouge to the timber when it's spinning on the lathe. Thanks, Peter. Alan, I always buff to the final hone with a hard felt wheel. Yeah, that'd do it as well. I could always throw the mop on, the polishing mop, and a little bit of the rouge that I used to tidy up all those brass handles on that dressing table that I redid for my mother's dressing table. That could be interesting. Most turners don't go real fine on the grind. Cole, see you later, folks. No picture, no fun. Might as well get into the workshop and create something. Cole, you need to look into that, buddy. Are you having any picture at all from anything else on YouTube? That would be an interesting thing. If you could have a look there and report back. Now, Alan Vecchio is the guy who made his own Stanton bench on steroids. It's a monster. Alan, I still haven't forgotten that you asked me to send you some information on the rear rail support for the bench. I'll try and get that done as well in the near future. Anyway, we're coming up to the end of the day. Let me see if we've got anything else. That's pretty good there. I may even fasten that down where it is, drill a couple of holes so I can just lock it on and I don't have to worry about clamping it on. What would you do? Would you clamp it on, or would you actually fasten it to it so it can't go anywhere? That's exactly right, John. I love getting input. I love hearing how other people do things. I'll tell you my way. A lot of times it's just going to be over the top, because that's just my personality. I like to look at things and think, right, now, how can I make this better than anyone else does? It's just, and a lot of the times it's stupid. It really is. The higher the grit, the sharper the edge, but the shorter it lasts. You've got yours screwed down, J&D. Peter, I clamp mine to the bench. I'd screw it down. Thanks, David. I probably will do it. Derek, yours is screwed down. Alan, the reason why I hone with the felt and rouge is durability of the edge. Get a bigger magnet to hold it down. You'd screw it down too. You know what? How about we do that now? I've got the Sharpie pen here. I was going to stop, but I thought, you know what? Let's keep going. I got the pen, and we'll put a mark. Dave, that countertop is way too nice to bolt a machine to it. Inside concave does not need to be touched, Mine is on rubber feet, doesn't move. Oh, here's the thing though. Midnight Joker. If you tip it over a little bit, it starts to get a lot of weight and it starts to rock. And that's starting to get dangerous. Good evening, Mr. WB Fine Woodworking. Don't forget to give the thumbs up. I'm going to... One there, one there. It was a pretty good spot where it was. One there. As I said, with this bench top, I can easily cut it off 100 mil back from the edge, and it's going to be fine. Where are we? I'm going to drill a tiny hole because getting near the edges, I don't want to split anything. I'll go in with a, I won't use one of those. I'll use one of these drills. And I'll use the little TXS. It's been fun. What do you reckon? Okay. We'll go in with a 2mm drill. That should be fine. I think I'm going to need washers. I'll leave that there for the moment. The reason I say that is these holes are quite large. If I put that in, is it going to go through or not? Let me have a look. I'm going to use a couple of washers. The reason being, if I screw it down with this and it's just going to start coming through the other side. You'd love to have a space for a turning bench. Well, the thing is with this little project, let me find washers, metal threads and nuts. Washers, found them. Okay. This is basically designed to save a whole heap of space, believe it or not. If everything is set up here, and all of those drawers, remember there's a bank of 8 drawers there, all of that junk would be scattered out all over the place. I'm also going to keep my bench grinder and brass wheel on the back. So I'll have the lathe here, the bench grinder and brass wheel at the back. I just roll it out into the middle of the room, spin it around. There's the grinder as well. And I was looking for places for all of these. M6 captives, like on the bench, they could easily put it on and off if needed. All right. How many people have got little boxes like this with rubbish everywhere inside them? Things that, oh, you'll never use it. Then one day you'll say, where the hell's, where'd I put that thing? Okay, there's a washer there. And that's going to keep me up a little bit. And let's see if I've got another one. These are pretty much spring washers, but they'll be fine. So let's try it. And the Craig driver, sorry, the Robertson. Rotten thing, it came through just a little bit. I need another one under there. Another one here. That's better. All right. That's not going. Whoa. Ha! Gave myself a bit of a rush. There we go. All right. Done. I think that's going to do it. Let me have a quick read through here. Alan, I built a 3-component system, including roided Stanton bench, which is easily transportable. It works fantastic. Thank you. My pleasure. Can you use pocket hole screws? I am using pocket hole screws on it because they're a cleaner screw to go in and they've got a largish head, but I just needed a couple of washers under it instead of just the one. And I chose spring washers. Bad move, bad move. M6 captives like on the bench, then I can easily put it off and on. That's an interesting idea, Derek. So maybe I've got M8s. I've got some of those already, and I might do that. But then again, I may not. All right. And the unit yours, and it's floor mounted. Well, you could still put it on a trolley if you wanted to, and you move it around. Some people have said to us, oh, well, I didn't realize the lathe is so small, because it's not a big lathe, but you can get bed extensions for them. And as I say, I'm not a big wood turner anyway. Curving PPP, personal protection, could be. All right, now the meeting after the show, the Patreon meeting, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get to it. The reason I say that is during the week, the computer said to me, you need to clear your cache and cookies and everything at the moment because you're not getting through to one of the sites. So I did, and then for 2 hours yesterday after that, I was trying to find all of my passwords and get myself organized again. So if I'm not there, Derek, I'm talking to you, if I'm not there in 5 minutes, can you please send me the link? And that would be lovely. All right. I think that is about it for it. And as I say every week, look after yourselves, be nice to each other. I have got links in the description box below. If there's some things on the show that you're interested in, use those links. They are affiliate links and not going to cost you any more than if you were to walk into a store, but they're there if you need them. Okay, look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you all next week. Bye.